Hi, I'm Glenn, and I am making a game where you get to create your own water park. I am getting really serious about this project, so that's why I decided to make a devlog. This way I can document all my progress along the way, but I also want to include small bits of my life as well. My goal for these videos is to use it as motivation in case I sometimes get stuck or don't want to continue working on the game, but I also want to remember things in general, because my memory is garbage, so this way I can keep memories of what I was up to in 2022. And I might upload this video if I'm feeling courageous, and well, maybe other people might be interested and they can follow along as well. But let's jump into the actual video now. For this first devlog, I want to mainly show what I have already made up until now. And then in the next video, I will be able to actually focus on my progress that I'm making maybe next week. And actually, I already started working on this project 3 times before, but circumstances always caused me to quit at some point. The first time, I didn't even use source control, so I think that's a red flag from the start. So now I'm starting from scratch again, because I have learned a lot in the past year about developing systems, and Unity and C# in general as well. I want to use that knowledge to the fullest. For a game like this, performance will be one of the most important elements, so I have to make sure that that's right from the start. In the first part of the week, I was mostly brainstorming and thinking about making this devlog. I have a part-time job, and the first few days I got quite tired from working and going to the gym. But then I decided to spend my hard-earned money on a GoPro. Today is the first day that I'm actively working on this devlog. I want to start off by showing you the current state of the game. As you can see, I already added some buttons. While I am working on invisible systems, I like to also already add UI. That makes it easier to work on stuff and test things immediately. And you also get some visual results. Otherwise, it can become a bit demotivating if you only work on things that you can't even see. These buttons are already connected to some functionality, so when you click on them, they open a window. It's empty, but it's already nice that they actually open a window. So I already added quite a lot of UI stuff. I can also already change the name of the park if I want to. On the bottom right, you can see some stats, like the amount of money you have, the amount of guests that are currently in your park, their happiness, and the current time. With this button, you can choose how fast time moves. And if we start the time, then we can see that this bar pops up. This is the notification bar. You can open it, and you'll be able to then move quickly to the item that the notification is about. And here to the left, you have the action buttons. The first thing that you can do in the game already is terraforming. As you can see, I already created a little landscape here. Maybe you might be familiar with this type of terrain, because it is based on the terrain from the games Rollercoaster Tycoon 1 and 2. Those games had a really big impact on my childhood, and I want to recreate some of that feeling that I had when I was playing this game. That's why I chose for this type of terrain for my game as well. But I want to make it more modern and easier to work with. The terraforming mode has a few different tools. You can toggle smoothing. So if smoothing is enabled, then this will happen. While if it's disabled, it will just cut out a part of the terrain. It is also possible to just flatten the area, like this. Or I can just choose one corner to start from, and then it cuts out a piece of the terrain as well. Another thing that's already added to the game is terrain painting. The graphics are still temporary, because I'm only using them for testing right now. Let's for example choose these yellow colors. One of the reasons that made me start all over again on this project was the fact that I wanted to add an undo system to the game. So let's say I'm just painting the terrain, but then I suddenly realize I don't like the things that I have done, so I can easily, with the click of a button, go back to the previous state, or even redo things again. This is something I am really happy with, and I am now really excited to move on to the next step in the development of my game. But first, a friend is coming over, and we're going to eat some dinner together, and then play Mario Kart. Yesterday I was really busy with life stuff in general, so I couldn't really work on my game a lot. But today I want to start planning the pathing system of the game, and I want to finish this devlog. The player should be able to place paths both on the terrain and in the air. Nothing special needs to happen when you place paths on the terrain itself. But once you start placing paths in the air, above the terrain, there will have to be some edges, so it looks clean and it is safe for the guests. These edges will have to be generated procedurally, so this is based on the state of the terrain around the paths, as well as the surrounding paths. Oh, and of course I shouldn't forget that paths that are floating in the air should have some supports. I think I have a pretty good idea of how I want to tackle this subject. In the previous version of the game, I already had some type of this pathing system working as well, so I can go and look at how I did it previously if I'm stuck. I think I will keep the pathing system for next week, and I'm really excited to share that progress with you. So, for now, see you next week!